At the center of this archipelago off Africa's east coast, these granite mountains rising from the Indian Ocean are a magnet for the yachting set. Although we'd flown in, our berths were as luxurious as any super yacht, since we were here for the opening of Seychelles' latest hotel, the Eden Bleu.
It's crazy to think that 11 years ago, there was just nothing here, not even a blade of grass.
Not a blade of grass, it was a reclaimed island, coral, and nothing else. And that was the big challenge, to bring that natural beauty onto Eden Island.
I must say the first thing that strikes you as you walk into the hotel is the fact that you brought all the best aspects of the Seychelles into the hotel with regards to the vegetation, the beautiful blue water, the mountains. It really feels like you're in the Seychelles when you're walking in.
Indeed. I sent an architectural team out into the Seychelles to try and assemble a new type of design which would reflect the design of the indigenous buildings in the Seychelles. They took over 6,000 photographs.
When they saw particular features repeatedly, they assembled them as part of the distinctive architecture. Glorious as the rooms are, you'll spend little time in them. Yacht charters leave from right on your doorstep. The air is filled with the aromas and sounds of a creole culture, blending African, Arabic, Portuguese, French, and Indian influences.
This beautiful traditional music really just completes that postcard picture.
But of course, that is what Seychelles is about. The ocean, boats, fishing, diving, snorkeling, and that beautiful, beautiful vegetation.
Now I wrote you a letter, and I wrote to your side.
It was on an Italian yacht that young, modern folk musician Jeremy Loops scrubbed the decks, paid his way around the world, and all the while practiced his musical craft. After a show in London, the owners of this development invited him here to Mai to open their hotel.
Has music always been part of your life growing up and in your family?
Well, I grew up in Kommetjie, in a little town in Cape Town, and no one in my family is particularly musical, I suppose, if I'm honest, and I didn't really pick up any music instruments myself until I was about 19 when I bought my first guitar when I was overseas. It all happened quite late for me. When I really learned to play guitar was when I started studying my business and finance degree, and I used to really not enjoy doing subjects like financial maths. I used to get home after a full day of university and just pick up my guitar, and I had all this excess creative energy that I needed to release, and so I used to play a lot of music. In those 4 years of varsity, I was just making music non-stop. So by the time I finished my degree, I really wasn't comfortable with the idea of settling into a corporate job quite yet, because I had this newfound passion for music.
Having built his career from a very early stage with rapper Mutao Maleko and then saxophonist Jamie Fall, together they put out an irresistible mix of music.
I just long for your embrace.
When people watch you perform, they can't believe that all these sounds are coming out of one person.
Before I left for working on the yacht, I took a loop pedal with me because I realized I wasn't going to have anyone to make music with. I wasn't going to have a band or access to any other musician. I had no idea I would end up being a loop pedal artist, but so I spent a lot of time just messing around with different effects and trying to be all the different people in a band, and learning to do the drums with beatboxing and playing harmonicas and playing my guitars or my banjo, my ukulele, whatever I could find to add and make like a full band sound. And I got back, and I think people were just kind of like, well, what's this guy doing? And I wasn't really aware that this was something I was stumbling onto. I was just kind of making stuff just organically, I suppose.
Squeezing a diving trip in before that night's show, we learnt that as well as being a qualified sailor, Jeremy's also a surfer, and he insists he'd be a photographer by profession if his music hadn't hit #1 on 3 of South Africa's biggest radio stations.
What advice can you give to people out there wanting to chase their dreams?
Pursuing a dream in general just starts with actually trying to do it. It took me a long time. It took me 26 years before I finally ventured out into the big wide world and actually gave what I really wanted to do a real shot. And I was a mixture of lucky and a number of things came together, and I really kind of made it work. But I suppose the big advice is just start somewhere, Don't let it just slip away because you were too scared to try.
I didn't want to leave you down south when I said that I would call you, squeeze you a little bit of love. I didn't want to. Anyway.
You ready, dude?
I'm as ready as
One
ever.
of the few places in the world you can dive without a wetsuit. Beautiful warm water, crystal clear.
Let's do this.
Enjoy it.
And in the light of day, I didn't know you.
Trading Change was a massive success, particularly the single Down South. What do you attribute that success to?
The success of Down South has just kind of caught me by surprise. I worked really hard on it. It was an amalgamation of 10 years of my life of creativity all packed into kind of one album. So I'd like to think I worked hard enough to get it to where it needed to be, so that's been a part of it doing really well. But I think we'd also fostered a really good live community that supported us. We play a lot of live shows, and I was gigging for nearly 4 years before we actually put the first debut album out. So by the time we actually had a product to sell people, there were a lot of people who had enjoyed a lot of our live shows waiting for something.
Well, Down South, my favorite song of 2014 by far.
It's actually my favorite song as well. It's one of them. I wrote that song about leaving your small town and going in search of your dreams. So it's also one of the songs on the album that means the most to me, I suppose. It means a lot.
I couldn't see in the light of day everything we dreamed. I didn't know this. It's how you react. It's a kill and everything she was. Tearing up these seas, tearing up these seas.
It's good he's been diving the reefs of the Seychelles, because holidays will be few and far between after he launches his album in North America on January the 1st, 2015. Providing excellent preparation was that evening's live gig.
I'm going to offer my services to you. I don't think I'm much good with the voice and everything, but
What you got?
I can give you a little bit of a beat. I know your beatboxing skills are up there. Mine are down here somewhere, but I can give you a bit of a beat just to warm up your voice. Do you need some help?
I need the help. I want to hear your best
I'm going to give it to you. Okay.
What you got?